Morning to you all. Welcome back to the Namaste Experience. It is Monday, and I'm very happy to be back with you after a week of travel and having a lot of fun, an amazing time, which I'm going to tell you a little bit about here today. I'm going to be back in Mexico on Wednesday evening, but I will be able to be with you for probably the whole week. So I'm very excited to be present here and to return to our beautiful community. So I want to begin by telling you a little bit about my experience of last week and how it has helped me to relax into and dissolve into the experience that we share here every day. And first, just a reminder of how blessed we are. Those of us who live at the beautiful Namaste Village, those of you who join us every day on Zoom, those of you who watch us later on YouTube, I'm so grateful for each and every single one of you because you help me remember that there is only one desire, only one goal, and that is the goal of love. In fact, as you know, we have a motto or kind of a way of being here at Namaste Village in three parts: only love, only God, only now. In fact, one of the things that I experienced over this last week is the dissolving of even that into the one, into one experience. It may seem at first that only love, only God, only now are three different experiences. This is how we judge things in the perceptual world. We judge things by their differences. So only love might be somewhat different than only God, which might be somewhat different from only now. And yet, the more we give ourselves and surrender ourselves into this mystery, everything begins to dissolve together into the one. And suddenly, instead of three separate experiences, only love, only God, only now, suddenly it becomes only love, and only now. And even the now then vanishes in the love, and we find ourselves in the experience, the direct experience of only love, only love, only love. Do you see how that works? How in my single uncompromising focus is only love, everything else begins to merge with that, to dissolve into that. And isn't that our real goal here? In fact, I would say not even our goal, but our reality, what we have claimed to be true. And I know that all of you are having some level of experience of that. Joining together as we do here 5 days a week gives us the opportunity to join in that experience of only love, only love, only love. It becomes a mantra. It becomes a single extension of love and loveliness. That's who you are, the extension of the love and the loveliness of what we sometimes call God. I say sometimes because I think each one of us have come to the realization that there is no such thing as God, ultimately, in my conceptual mind, in my conceptual experience, because most of us, whether we want to or not, begin with a concept of God as being out there. We're told to believe in a deity God, usually an old white man in the sky sort of God, a Zeus, an entity, a deity somewhere instead of right here, right now. And in the experience of only love, only love, only love, everything, including all of my concepts of God, begin to dissolve. They dissolve into that experience of love itself. So there is no God. There is no deity outside of you, of me, but wholly contained, completely revealed right here and right now. So this experience that I had in Montreal was with a group called TLC, or Transformational Leadership Council. And it's made up of really amazing people. It was an organization that was started by Jack Canfield, and it's kind of an exclusive club. You have to It's hard to get into. You have to be nominated, and then there's a whole process in the nomination that you have to go through in order to be able to come to these retreats that they do twice a year, where they basically are able to get together and to be with the people who are, in their minds, at the same level of their extension. These are people who are very, very successful and often very, very famous in this transformational field. Once again, started by Jack Canfield and many, many other people. Without mentioning names, there are many other very well-known people that you would know. I felt honored to be able to be with them, to share with them, and it was a great blessing and a lot of fun. We had a great time the whole week. I almost didn't want to leave, but I have to say something. Um, of course, the invitation for me to join this group was very present, and this was more like a test to have me come and spend time with them spend time with me, and it went very, very well. I was invited to come and do a talk on my new book, I don't know, maybe I love you, so on depolarization. And that went extremely well. And the interactions that I had with people went extremely well. There were quite a number of people that I was already very good friends with. So it really felt natural for me to come together, to be there. But then the question was, is this something that I want to nurture, to be in this group, to continue to uh, gravitate around this group? And the more I prayed about that, the more I realized that, without any judgment at all, because these people are amazing and what they're doing is amazing, I felt called to a very different experience. Not the experience of more, but the experience of now, right now. So often, especially in relation to this law of attraction-y kind of focus, which many of the people who were there had been in The Secret. And so the law of attraction and The Secret was mentioned quite a number of times. How do we get more? How do we expand? How do we extend? How do we radiate so that we can have more of this or more of that? And I have to say that in my own life, it's much more about less, less distraction, less need, less attachment, so that I can dissolve more and more into only love, only love, only love. And so, though I had a wonderful time with everyone, we had fun activities and many people gave talks, and it was really great. Still, I felt this call inward rather than the call outward. I think maybe that's what it was. And instead of moving out, I felt more of that call to the within, to the simple. And to me, this is really the difference between what we might call personal growth and spiritual growth. Personal growth is, more that Tony Robbins, even secret sort of attitude of using spirituality to get what I don't have that will somehow make my experience richer. But I think what each one of us have come to in this great dissolve is that it's not about getting more, it's about relaxing, it's about allowing. It's about realizing that there's nothing more. There is nothing more than this, than what we're experiencing together, what we claim here together. There's nothing more. How could there be? It's the ego within us, the identity that is always striving. If I had more of this, more of that, if I could only be invited to these great councils and clubs that are filled with amazing people doing amazing work around the world, then somehow I'll feel valued and valuable. Instead, where I've come to, and I think where each one of us are moving, is that it's not about my identity becoming more valuable. It's about my identity, that which I have claimed outside of that all, dissolving into only love, only love, only love. So one of the things that I found myself doing a lot when I was there at this gathering was I was reading a lot of Joel Goldsmith, who for me back in the 50s and 60s, Joel Goldsmith was like he was probably one of the only voices that was right there at the edge, speaking the ultimate truth that ultimately came to us through many other sources, like A Course in Miracles, A Course of Love, and Journey Beyond Words, and it was like there was a maturing, a ripening of the fruit, and maybe Joel was one of the ripest at that time, but giving us that uncompromising message of I, not even I am, but I. That single I. So I want to begin by sharing a little something that was inspired by Joel. Then we're going to wrap it into a short little story before I bring Penny Honey and Vicky on. So this is just a little tiny bit of what I wrote read after reading something from Joel. The I, so the single I, in the midst of you are the one. The I in the midst, the very center of you. That is the one. I am the only power working in and through you. The I am presence is the only power working in and through you. And your full, uncompromising acceptance of this is the only requirement for you to lift above all the shadows that you have given power to. The I in the midst of it all. The full acceptance of that I am presence. Not needing more, not trying to achieve, not trying to get, but to give everything. That's the key difference between personal growth and spiritual growth. Personal growth is always focused on more. How do I get more into my experience? As opposed to how do I give more? How do I give everything so that there's nothing left of me? Once again, only love, only love, only love. So with that in mind, with that little bit, I wrote this very, very short little parable. So let me share this now. It's called The Parable of the Shadow Garden. Once in a quiet valley nestled between timeless mountains, there lived a gardener who had long forgotten her origin. Each day, she tended to her garden of thoughts, flowers of hope, thorns of fear, vines of desire, and roots of shame. I wonder how familiar that sounds. The sun rose and set, and the gardener believed her toil made the garden grow. Yet the more she tried to control it, the more wild and entangled it became. And then one day, a voice, still yet thunderous, rose from the heart of the garden. It said, I, in the midst of you, am the one. Startled, the gardener looked around. Who speaks? She whispered. Again, the voice replied, I am the only power working in and through you. You need not fear the shadows, for they have no life but what you give them. The gardener dropped her tools. Her hands trembled, not with fear, but with recognition. She saw now that every weed she had tried to pull out was only a projection of her own resistance. The shadows in the garden had no roots. They thrived only because she fought them, fed them with her belief in separation. Then what must I do? She asked the voice. And the voice answered, accept fully and without compromise that I am within you, as you, working through you. This is the only requirement. All else is illusion. Once again, this is for each one of us. Accept fully and without compromise that I am within you, as you, working through you. And this is the only requirement. All else is illusion. Tears welled in her eyes. She fell to her knees and whispered, yes, yes. In that moment, the garden shimmered, the thorns dissolved, the fears melted into blossoms, and a radiant light rose from the soil itself. The gardener laughed, not with mindless joy, but with the awe of one who remembers that she is not the source, but the expression of it, the expression of the source itself. She no longer worked the garden. She was the garden. She was the light. She was the I am. And never again did she give power to a shadow. This is who you are. All you have to do is to claim it without compromise. The I at the center of it all is who you are. And all these other winds of change may sweep around us and calls to gain more and to be bigger than, smarter, more popular, more famous, all of that. But all of those things are illusions. There's only right now. So once again, only love, only love, only love. Let it dissolve into that. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over now to whoever wants to begin, Penny or Vicky, would love to hear from you. Go right ahead. Is Vicky with us today? I
Oh,
didn't
yes,
see.
I was just waiting for Penny.
Hello, my dear. How are you? I missed you.
Welcome home, honey. We sure missed you too. And I'm so glad that you were immersed in that brotherhood and you could value and see the gifts of the mystic. Because what are you describing? The heart of the mystic. And who was Joel? Joel was the first one, probably in our Western language, although there were people like Chardin, Teilhard de Chardin, but Joel had that widespread communication that was given him because it was his only experience to drop into his own Christ self, his own identity, and recognize my Father and I are one, that there is no separation. And our little family here, our little flock, our little family, we have been doing that every day now, really dropping in and letting love speak because we are that. And we can only discover it. We can't read about it in a book. We can be motivated when we read about it in a book. But like Brenda had a beautiful experience of losing power and then finding the light within herself wake up and get her attention. And what is that? Nothing more than letting our thoughts and attention from the outside rest, like those shadows, instead of worrying about them and fixing them, just don't stop it. Don't engage them anymore. And step back and rest. Step back and allow. Step back. And Joel uses this. The big thing is be still, and let spirit speak, not as spirit to and from, but as. My Father and I are one, as what we are. Let love speak. And more, that's what we're getting stable in. That's the heart of the true mystic, to find the center of love. And then it's so simple because love is already what we are. It's not communicating to something outside of us, it's allowing love to speak as us. That's why we don't need to figure out, oh, how will I do this? How will I do that? It will unfold as we stay centered in love. What, where to go, what to do comes to us by grace. It shows up not because it's given to us, because it's coming from us as us, whether it's our daily bread or companionship or a trip or whatever it is. We are a little flock of love, love coming into awareness of itself, saying, oh, thank you, thank you. I'm glad it is this simple. I'm so grateful to be still and let love be my voice, be my hands, be my feet. I think one of the hardest things, and then I'll pass it to you, Penny, was recognizing, of our little identity. We think, oh, would God ever speak to me? I suppose Moses thought that too. Oh, can I hear God? Well, as long as there's a God somewhere else, we're going to have a hard time. But when we just relax and say, I'm part of that, I'm that child of God that's part of it. So I'm going to welcome and let love, what I already am, lead. Let it lead me. That's what we're doing here. That's all we're doing. And we're dropping not just our identity, our belief that we're not good enough, or who are we to be trusting that we are the part of the creation, part of the creator. We're letting all of those ideas go and discovering by experience that love certainly is the everything, and we are part of that, as humble as it is. Kind of like the little Saint Teresa of the little flowers of the New Age movement, with the realization and the welcoming of love. Okay, Penny, your turn, honey.
Good morning. One presence, one power, active in my life and in the world. That is unity principle number one. Love. And when we talk about that letting it be love, I'd like to quote a very popular teacher of mine, Mary Poppins. There's a song in the Mary Poppins musical, and it is entitled, Anything Can Happen If You Let It. The love is present. Let it. The love is you. Let it. Let it. And that being one with all, and the premise of that being love, I have a story. I know that's surprising. I'm sitting in the backyard with my grandma and we're breaking green beans. She says, now run on in the house and get a hairbrush because I was always a mess. And as she brushed my hair, she took one of those little red hairs and she flipped it out into the wind. And she said, that will become a part of a bird's nest.
Oh.
And that nest will become a song unto the world.
Oh.
And you are one with that.
Wow.
Let it. Only love, only love, only love. And that's easier some days than others, huh? And to remember that that's not only true about myself, but it's true about everyone, about every situation, about every condition, and all those things that we give power to. The Course in Miracles talks about it's either love or it's fear. My practice in this consciousness of only love is to wrap whatever that fear is that I'm carrying. What is my place? Who am I here? To wrap that in love. And then it's no longer love or fear. It's only love. It's only love. I appreciate you, James, and I appreciate you, Vicki, for letting me be a part of this, inviting me into this, and reminding me one power, one presence, active in my life and in the world. Only love. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you, Penny. Yes, it's so simple. Only love. Just let it really just dissolve into that simple message. I love the image of the single hair becoming the bird's nest, becoming the song. As you can probably guess, I have given mine to many nests, many songs for sure. But whether we have a lot of beautiful hair like many of you or very little like me, the song remains the same. I love that. The song is just the song of love, the song of now, calling us, pulling us in. If we would stop resisting the pull, every single one of us is feeling that. Whether we're conscious of it or not, we're feeling that call inward into the experience of love. So all we do here 5 days a week for many years now is just say yes. Yes to that call. Yes to that gravitational pull. The gravitational pull of love itself. And to that gravitational pull, we say together, Amen, 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 e punto. Period. That's it. No more. We are home. Thank you, everyone. Much love to you wherever you are. We'll see you again tomorrow. Namaste.